Good morning, girls and boys. So we have our next story for you today on Thursday morning or afternoon, whenever you're watching this. Again, we're going to talk about the Lord Jesus, and he's in the temple. This kind of is a continuation of the story from yesterday. So yesterday we talked about Jesus in the temple teaching. Today is going to be some more of Jesus in the temple and people asking him questions, hoping that they can trick him. So today's story, Jesus again is in the temple where we're still on Tuesday, and some scribes and some Pharisees, some people come to Jesus, and they ask a question that they want to trick Jesus with. They say, Jesus, should we pay taxes to Caesar? Now we know that the Romans were living in Israel. The Romans were ruling over the Jews, or people in Israel, and they didn't very much like paying taxes to the Romans. They said, if we ask Jesus this question, if we should pay money to the Romans, taxes, if Jesus says, yes, you have to pay taxes to the Romans, then the Jewish people, will be very angry at Jesus because they didn't like the Romans, right? But if Jesus says, no, you don't have to pay taxes to the Romans, then we can get the Romans really mad at Jesus. So they thought they had Jesus trapped. But Jesus knew their hearts and he knew what they were thinking. So he said to me, why don't you give me a coin? Give me a coin that you have. So they showed him a Roman denarius, a coin that they had with them. So this is what it would have sort of looked like, one side of it. Jesus said to them, whose inscription, whose picture do you see on this coin? It's Caesar's, they say. And now Caesar was the Roman emperor. It's Caesar's, they say. So Jesus says, well then, I want you to give back to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God. And they couldn't answer back on that anymore. They were so impressed that they left Jesus. They had nothing else to say. A little while later, some more people, they came to Jesus. They had a question. They said, Jesus, what is the most important commandment? What's the greatest commandment? And then Jesus answered with some words, a text that I think you might know. Jesus said, love God above all. Love God with thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And then Jesus said, there's another commandment. The second commandment is like it. That commandment is love your neighbor as yourself. So the Lord Jesus said that. He kind of said all the commandments in those few words, because the commandments, right, we know that they all talk about loving God and loving our neighbor. So in that one question, Lord Jesus answered that actually all the commandments are important. We have to love God and love other people around us. So that's it for Tuesday. So you're going to today, in your Passion Journals, you're going to flip to the Tuesday. And again, you're going to pretend that you are one of the disciples. What would that disciple have seen and heard Jesus preaching? Would he have heard the Lord Jesus asking for a coin and telling people to give back to Caesar what was Caesar's and to God what was God's? Would he have heard the Pharisees and other people in the temple trying to trick Jesus with questions if they should pay taxes? Would they have heard Jesus saying, the most important commandment is to love God above all, and also your neighbor as yourself? Write about those things. And then you can also draw a picture about something that they talked about. Now, if you want to include a picture of this, of the Roman denarius, maybe, I'll hold it up one more time so you can look at it. You can also pause the video, right, if you want to include this in your drawing as well. So there you have it. That's your work for today. I hope you're doing well with your booklets. The work that I'm seeing coming in is good. Don't forget your periods at the end of your sentences. And the drawings are looking great as well. Keep up the good work, and we'll see you next week.